Hello everyone, it's Nina. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some tips and tricks on using the MISTI Grid Transparency sheet. This is something you can get here at Simon Says Stamp. It's a great tool to be able to help you line things up with your MISTI stamping tool to get you even more precise stamping. This piece of transparency is sized to fit an A2 sized card, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it fits perfectly right over top of your A2 sized card. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my MISTI tool so you can see here, just lining it up in that bottom right corner to make sure everything's lined up perfectly. And I'm using my magnets to hold it down. That helps hold that in place so it doesn't shift because of course this is transparency, so it's quite slick. Now the first method I want to show you for using my MISTI Transparency Grid is that I like to use it to go ahead and help me align things in certain areas of my card. So in this particular case, I'm taking this large sentiment and I want to make sure that it's right in the center of my card because it would look kind of funny if it was aligned a little too far to the left or too far to the right. So having that nice grid on the transparency sheet allows me to make sure I get the stamping of this sentiment perfectly in place. So it's going to be right in the middle every time I go ahead and stamp it. So I'll go ahead and press that down. You can see how great that was and how perfectly it allows me to get the stamping of this image. Another way I like to use it is when I'm doing stamp layering. So here I've got an image that I've already stamped down. This is the base layer of a flower. And I'm going to go ahead and line up the next layer of this flower. Now a lot of times if you don't have the grid, you'll just kind of try to line it up over top of the image that you've already stamped underneath, the base layer of your stamp layering image. But in this case, the transparency grid allows me to make sure that I'm getting it in the right place by doing a test run. So I can go ahead and stamp this down using ink color and go ahead and press it over top of that transparency sheet. So the transparency sheet is still attached. And that allows me to double check to make sure that my stamping is aligned right in the area that it should be. And that is a perfect way to be able to go ahead and do some testing for your stamping before you go ahead and put it down permanently. Now it's easy to clean up. I just wipe it up with a baby wipe, and then after I'm done with it, I give it a good cleaning, and I'll show you in a moment how I do that. But here you can see, because we did that test run, I can go ahead and stamp my image and know that it's in the correct spot when I go ahead and stamp it onto my card. So here you can see that's a perfect image, and that was with the help of the MISTI Transparency Grid. Now here's how I go ahead and clean up my MISTI Transparency Grid after I'm done using it. I take the Hero Arts Ultra Clean Spray. This is great for cleaning your stamps, but it's also great for cleaning this transparency grid. Because that Ultra Clean is made to clean up dye inks, this is a perfect way to be able to clean up your transparency grid when you're done with it. So that was a quick look on how to use the MISTI Transparency Grid, and I hope that's helped you get some ideas for how it can best help you with your stamping. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more inspiration, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.